All right, we're here live at the Moog factory. My name is Andrew Stryffler. I am an instrument specialist here at Moog, and it is my honor, and I know I speak for all the Moog employee owners here, that we are just thrilled to have Kevin Lamb back. Did a live stream yesterday, we're going to do it again today.
Didn't get arrested last night.
Didn't get arrested last night somehow, and
So
we're just
I'm
thrilled
here.
to have you here. If you're not familiar with Kevin, Kevin has an extensive career. Started early in Motown, you've worked on chart-topping hits, you've worked with tons of films, and you've done sound design for a ton of really amazing instruments, including the Moog One, if I can be so humble. So thanks, Kevin. We're really happy you're here.
This is a monster. This is a monster. It's not, you need no apologies for this instrument.
Yeah, definitely. So what I want to do today is I'd like you to just go through, I think everyone really wants to hear you play sounds. You know, there are keys on it, so let's go ahead and get some sounds going. And then as you're playing sounds, maybe we can kind of dive in and start to tweak them, and we'll just have a conversation about what really makes the Moog One unique and compelling. And I specifically want to hear from you what you kind of, as a sound designer, have been drawn to. So pull up some of your favorite sounds and let's kind of dive into this thing.
Actually, there are lots of bass sounds that are great on this, but what I think has been underplayed or underexploited has been pad sounds.
Okay.
Because this thing has got such depth with a single layer that, I mean, this.
What? That's just some aftertouch as you press down? Oh man, that's really cool.
But you also have
Nice. Yeah, and I really like how you have like the hold feature, so you can use it to kind of subtle sonic changes and then just kind of leave it where you're at and then kind of stay in your sound.
Exactly. It opens it up so wide. You're not stuck with a preset. This allows you with the whole feature, you can grow apart, like, and then,
Yeah. Oh man, that's so exciting. We've been working on this for so long, it's just like thrilling to stand up here and hear, you know, not mono bass lines come out of something, but like lush, polyphonic
does
pads. That is incredible.
Oh, well, we got the monophonic basses are stunning. I should warn, I warned last night, I should warn again. I blew a monitor, not from volume, from just bass energy. So be careful with this.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of bass energy up here right now, actually.
Huh. I must have not tuned that one. Let's try loading that again. Now, we'll move on to a different bass sound because...
Yeah, and if we want to look at any, you know, for people that are looking at the screen, if we want to look at any tuning, these more buttons are fantastic ways to navigate the center screen. You know, right here we see we're in unison mode and we're detuning those unison voices from themselves. And that's the great thing about the Moog One is we can quickly navigate. I really like the workflow of the more buttons of being able just to jump around.
You know, I thought it was going to be clumsy. You know, when at first I have become reliant on these buttons.
Yeah.
And I look for them on other synths now, like, I want to look, you know.
Yeah, instead we have to menu dive, where with this we can just kind of focus. It's a really nice workflow.
It's very, very quick.
You know, that's interesting. You had some concerns when you first, so you kind of first get this delivered to you. We're going to have you do some sound design. You have some concerns. How long did it take you to kind of get to the point where you're like, I think they have something here?
Honestly, 5 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, it was just, it's a Moog. You know, you see what you have here, and it's easy to work. You want to get into detail. It takes about 2 or 3 times pressing those buttons to where it becomes habit,
right?
Instinctual. Like this, the filters. You got 2 filters. How are you going to see how they're interacting, or, you know, like that sort of thing?
Right.
Unless you hit that button, you aren't going to see it.
Yeah, those visual readouts are really important.
So it got, you know, a few minutes, and it became very natural.
Well, let's hear some more sounds. It's great to look at filters, but let's maybe play with the filters as we kind of
filters are everything, man. Here, like.
Oh, I like that.
Hit the whole button. And actually, we were discussing this. You can restart.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm gonna actually show the arpeggiator on that more page. So we've got one note here. Oh, that is so cool. We're just holding that root note and then you're stacking notes on top of it. Or we can have just trigger individual notes if we don't hold that root note. That's a really cool behavior of that arpeggiator.
Yeah, you just hold one finger down.
You excited.
Have all the aftertouch. Play with the XY pad. That does stuff too.
And this sound, I feel like we're just going to change the world here in a second. It's like we're in a movie. This is great.
Here's another trick. Just go like this.
Yeah, like animated by tapping. Oh,
And you can
DJ Kevin Lamb.
Not at my age. really, come on. But you can record these moves in your DAW, whatever sequencer you're using.
Yeah.
And play it back, which is really, the XY pad is the little gem on this.
Yeah, really, you can do a lot of performance stuff. And then, like, I know I was kind of being somewhat joking when I say DJ Kevin Lamb.
No,
you can really
you
use
have
this like
aspirations.
I have the aspirations, but you really can use this as a performance piece because keep in mind what we're showing right now. We've got one sound, we've got one timbre loaded, one synth.
You have that jack in the back that says external audio.
Yeah.
Bring it in and you start messing with the external audio with that.
Or lock this in and start playing on top of it. Or what you can do as far as layering, and then you can lock in your layers and then use your XY pad and the whole panel to control it. It's really amazing.
These, they all record, and you can play it back in. That records and plays back in. It's really a performance instrument.
Yeah, to say nothing of what you can do as far as modulation. So if we look at the mod matrix of what you have on this sound,
well, it's
got quite some options here. Oh, look at that. We're like 10 pages deep. We've got some filter modulation on the Y pad we were hearing.
But you notice state variable and ladder, so I'm using both filters. Although, if you look at it, it's running in series.
Yeah.
This filter is going into that filter. So I can change, like for instance, on the change the cutoff. I'll go here to see what the value was. Okay. One of them turns up like this. So this is peaking out, but being filtered back.
Yeah, because you're running those in series, so you're hitting the SVF first, and then we're running into the ladder after. And we can choose to do the parallel or series.
Yeah, if you go like this, then you get.
Oh, it's Friday. I'm ready for a techno. I'm ready for techno.
So I mean, there's a lot of breadth in this. There's a lot of depth too. It's programming depth and performance breadth. If that's if I can use some more sounds, it's hard to pin it down to any one thing. And the nice thing is, here's one of the things I found. For instance, if you ever looked at different envelope generators from different manufacturers. I can go like this, where it's softer, and then twist up the curve. And that's like an Oberheim. It has a softer attack.
Yeah, that is really cool. And I like that, the kind of the depth of options that you have, and like you said, the breadth of option you have. Going back to that mod matrix, you can see how quick it is with how easy it is to assign modulation. It's one button, I hit it, and then grab the parameter. One thing that's really cool I like about navigating this instrument, especially if I've got a list, a mod matrix list that is like 10, 20 deep, is what if I just want to see what's being applied to the filter, is I can use these more buttons, and there's a shift button I can hit. I can hit shift and then hit this more button, and all of a sudden it's just going to snap and show me what's being applied to the filter, which is like a really nice way to navigate this instrument and quickly kind of filter your own views.
One thing I have to say, remember to take the shift button off.
Yeah, the nice thing is it's blinking at you, but I hear you. Sometimes
that
I get,
doesn't matter. I don't see
sometimes
things.
you get stuck there. That is definitely worth pointing out.
So, yeah, I've done that a couple times, tried to get around and went,
Yeah.
And once you remember, turn that shift button off.
Turn that shift button off.
It makes navigating this beast of an instrument really very simple and fast. I had my reservations of how quickly I was going to get around this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, one function could be you'd have to hold it down, but the panel's so big that it's necessary to be able to engage it and then kind of touch and then come back to it.
Well, that's another thing with the shift button. I can go home and then to the library, or load presets, or I can be, for instance, here, shift home. I go right to the browser.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Man, you're just showing me things I didn't even know. That's really cool.
It's there's a lot of hidden little shortcuts.
Yeah, there is a lot of hidden shortcuts. There's a thing, you can do a lot of deep things with this.
And I think it sounds the business. I mean, all the shortcuts in the world don't make me think if it sounds bad.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is very slow. Slow and lush is the name of the pad, but it's very smooth all the way up and down.
Yeah, I like how all your sounds are so detailed, and all we're listening to is one layer.
Yeah,
like we haven't even touched synth 2 and 3 yet.
I mentioned it last night. When I first get a box, I don't even think of it as an instrument yet till I play it. You'll find out if it's an instrument, and you say, okay, this has got 3 layers and it's got 3 sequences and all this stuff. How can I show off every feature? And I think starting out, you should put pieces of tape over these 2 buttons, because one synth on its own is so deep and so detailed. Learn what it does, and then
start to
you get the
jump to
other
synth
layers,
2.
and it's, my God, how big is this?
Yep.
It's huge. But I found having too many parameters, I didn't get as much out of it as I did with one layer.
Yeah.
Because it's a monster. Just the one layer alone is so, you're like, that's one layer of analog. It shouldn't sound that detailed.
Yep.
There's I think it was, here, sing a song for a minute while I find something.
You don't want me to do that.
Oh, no, I do.
You really don't want me to do that.
How about, you're out.
Yeah,
that's delayed.
So you're just the delay time there is with that pitch modulation? Yeah, that's nice.
But and it starts to go out of tune at the end. What? Come on, that's too much fun.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's obviously the benefit of having the effects on there. You've got an effect for each synth. You also have a master effects bus with eventide reverbs. Yeah,
and I turned a lot of mine off. They are on there and they work, but sometimes it's just nice to have the instrument on its own and hearing like.
Yeah, and when you take those effects out, it's a true analog polysynth. You know, there's a true bypass.
Come on. Anyone that's running the sub right now should be seeing their windows rattle. That's. And there's
just huge.
They have different resonance characteristics and waveforms, and the waveform displays are really handy.
Yeah.
To see what, it's like if I want to dial in some. That's let's put it on.
Yeah, you got those on the OLEDs as well as the mains, as well as focusing them more.
Well, I might want to be looking here.
Yeah, you might want to look exactly.
And seeing what they're all doing here. this is more fun than should be allowed.
So yeah, and you had mentioned, you recommended everyone buy the synth and put tape on it, which is kind of crazy. But
well, no, and that's not literally.
Yeah,
but just remember, one layer will get you more than you had imagined. Adding these other two is just insane. I had one bass sound that had all three synths going. I thought probably not. It was a bit big.
Yeah, it's a bit much, huh?
Just a little.
But you're talking about diving in on just one synth, and you've obviously used just so many instruments. When you're using this, I know we talked about the workflow as like, oh, the immediacy of this was really easy to gravitate toward. But as far as the sonic characteristics or other features, what really separates the Moog One from other poly synths out there that you're used to?
Right there.
Just the filters, having the SVF, the state variable filter, and then having the ladder filter.
I love state variables because I'm a big fan of Tom Oberheim's stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think it's been criminally overlooked as a filter. Mm-hmm. And Dave's put it...
you don't see it a lot out there.
Well, Dave's put it in the Pro 2 and in obviously the OB6. Mm-hmm. But I love the state variable with the ladder as a combination. It's and to be able to modulate, sweeping between the two filters very smoothly and seamlessly on, like, for instance, Aftertouch. That actually should be like that. And here you go, a state variable bass. Mm-hmm. How many people got that? They always go for a ladder, some sort of four-pole ladder derivative. And the SVF has just got such clarity because it doesn't really feed back. It barks at you. It'll shout at you. It's like...
Yeah, that's right. It's a totally different kind of resonance.
That's like painful. Oh man. Yes. It'll get dirty.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's great. I mean, we can really overdrive that filter, and you can set that up with the whole mixer relationship too. Is if I back off my oscillators, I can clean it up. But if I really want to drive that, I can overload those oscillators. You
can even want to see how hot you're running your mixer.
Yep. Hit that more button.
The more button.
Right.
But this is interesting because I can go.
You have like some spacing on that SVF. That's really cool.
I think I had that on modulation. There's one of my add-ons.
Yeah, you've got Aftertouch for the SVF as well.
But there's zero spacing, but on this patch book, the modulators will spread them out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes cause them to overlap in negative territory. It's state variable with the ladder filter. Like I said, that's been criminally overlooked, and this makes it very easy. And these more buttons make it easier.
Yeah, it's nice that, and again, I know we're repeating, but it is nice that you can, it's not just two filters, but you can change those relationships. I don't know, I just think it's so cool that you can run them in parallel in series. I know it sounds nerdy, but it's just such a unique feature.
No, this is, if you put them in series, let's take that off, and just, now you know which one's which. Right? If you turn off the ladder filter in the mixer and run it in series, I think this is a software bug on this particular.
You gotta go all the way to the right, actually.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So you're basically, I can get this up and sharp where it'd be doing that. And you can basically trim the top of that off, get a nice smooth Moog sound with that insane resonance going. You turn them on, you can get them both going, even though this filter is still running into that filter, the mixer is running into that filter.
Yeah.
So you're doubling up this oscillator as it's going into the ladder and state variable. State variable is going back into the ladder.
Yeah.
You can get a lot more gain out of it that way sometimes. Dangerously. But that's a trick.
Cool.
Run it state variable, put it in series, listen to the Moog filter, and turn the Moog filter all the way up, the resonance all the way down, the ladder filter. Get your sound on the state variable. Leave it a little wider open than you would, then close it back down with the ladder filter. There's no other instrument that actually has this filter combination, so you can come up with your own bespoke library very easily. And this little button here, the link cutoff. So let's say the whole thing has gotten a bit bright. I could turn one of the cutoff filters, one of the filter cutoffs down, and it'll pull them both down. It gangs them. It's very handy, but you got to remember, turn that switch off. Same thing here. Push both of these. You can adjust the envelope amount.
Yeah, it's nice. You can choose if you're adjusting the envelope amount for the ladder, the SVF, or you can select both at the same time. That is true.
And that's just handy and fast.
Yeah, quick workflow, immediacy. That's what I really like about the Moog One in lots of aspects. Is we're not saving, you know, we're not just saving to a library. We can, or we're not saving to a number system. We're saving to a library. But what other sounds do you like? What other ones are some of your favorites as you've designed it? I know we've kind of looked at one timbre. Maybe we can get into some layered sounds, and we could probably import some timbres.
I know of
Well, even if we start
two layered sounds.
Even if you start with maybe a pad, you know, we can import a layer and show that process as well.
Well, this is a marimba patch, very simple. One layer, and the second layer, which is set is out of analog waveforms. These are all triangles. But when you put them together, it's a composite sound. You get. With the key scaling, you apply that to the filter, you can roll that top end off as you go down, and it brings more of like the pseudo wood sound.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So let's get, how about this pad? There's a couple layers on that.
All right, now just hold that for a minute.
I think we hit hold just after we had let go. There.
Was my timing off? No big deal. No, I didn't. I actually just want to turn it
Don't
on.
touch my hold button.
Yeah.
Don't touch my hold button.
And then you have the second layer, which is, yeah, it's on. It should have been on. Now that's
riveting.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
really good
wow.
sound.
This is my best sound ever. You think you're hearing something?
It's the subtleties of the instrument that I really like. It's the nuances. I hear that. I don't think I can take it anymore. Can I go home now? Yeah.
I just heard the
I don't know.
best.
I mean, we don't need you to do any more sound design after you come up with that patch.
Yeah, I mean, that's a patch that can be used in any song.
any.
No, it's there should be a second layer that pops up above it. Again, still getting it right, but even wrong, amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I'd put up with any of that. There should be an octave layer that pops up over this.
Let's check that synth 2 VC. Where am I? Okay.
Yeah, this is an early sound done on an early revision, so I don't, you know, things happen. There's one, fifth pad. Playing in fourth against fifth tuning. And that's another thing, you have polyphony.
Yeah.
So I can split the keyboard, put bass down here, and chords up here and say I want 6 and 2.
Yeah.
And it doesn't steal away from polyphony, and you got a third layer that you could throw in on top of that.
Yeah, and it's nice that it doesn't automatically allocate those voices. You have complete control to be like, on synth 1 I want this many voices, or on the other synths I want other ones.
It's easy. Synth.
Yeah.
How many are you using?
Yep, exactly.
You know, it's that simple. Now you can play with the XY pad. It goes backwards.
Yeah.
On that one.
The bottom's where it's at.
Well, sometimes you might want to fade it out and in, but still have it there without going, oh, volume. You know. There's here. I should go Shift and Home to go to the browser.
Gotcha. So yeah, you like to use the browse menu. You can also use the performance sets if you want quick access of your presets. But
Yeah,
you obviously know where they're at here.
I think we set some up here yesterday, but this is just where I can see where it's happening. The Arpeggiator sounds, these short sounds are really dynamic, and it's like there's some attack, bite. You can.
Hit that more button on that arp, yeah. I really like that visual readout of the Arpeggiator section, being able to see the notes and everything there.
I like it because I can count how many notes.
Yeah,
I might want to do a 5 against 7 thing.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't know how many notes you hit.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can get really delicate on it. And then that's sometimes easier than remembering to hold down a note, because you can go. You can do it with aftertouch.
Yeah.
I have a lot of res programs in the XY pad, so you can control resonance and cut off independently. And that is using just the ladder filter.
Yeah, nice. That's really great.
But sending them to both and running them in series.
Yeah, I like how much you use the SVF, just the way you use it, and it's really cool. Your
it's more
presets,
color.
Yeah, just a lot more color.
And a lot more option.
Yeah. So we've looked at filters. You know, we've explored some sounds. I'm gonna grab one of your pads, and oh, that's cool. I like that. Maybe what we could do is look at the sequencer here. I know we don't have any kind of sequences saved, but if we just quickly record in, I'm actually just going to quickly record in a progression. And all I'm doing is I'm just populating the sequencer. If we look at that. So I just hit basically 32 notes, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to tie these all together. So I'm going to advance and just hit tie, so that we basically have a drone of 2 chords kind of playing through.
You see they're tied by the little dot.
Yeah, and we can see the tide there, which is really nice. Just basically want to show the sequencer. I know we haven't dug into that too much. So if I play that back, now we've got 2 chords going. Then we go to the more button here, and it's not synced, so I'm actually going to sync that. And now my master clock, I can control that tempo.
And the LFO, with that little sample and old thing,
Yeah,
is synced as well.
Yeah, that's right. So you can hear that changing as I do that. So we've got kind of some sync stats, but we're only using 1 timbre. Now, if I wanted to, I could go to timbre 2, and I could start to build a sound from scratch. But I could take keyboard control off of my first synth, and it's going to continue playing. Now I can go to synth 2. I can browse my presets, and let's pull up I really like that marimba sound. Maybe we go with that wood mallet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load that wood mallet sound into my spot number 2. And now I can turn on the ARP.
Make sure it's synchronized.
Yeah, sync it up. So now we can start to get into kind of some layered sounds there with that.
And if you go here,
now we're mixing, right? Just quickly mixing, going to synth 1, turning that down. I'm gonna go to synth 2 and put that on hold. So we got lots of movement, but it's really nice to be able to kind of sync up to that central clock.
especially with the LFOs and your Arpeggiator.
Dude, let's do it. You know what? I'm into it. I know you. Let's start a DJ duo. Let's make our own stuff.
I have recording contracts.
You know?
Somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm into it.
And then you can go like this. That's just a ladder filter. And you turn it back on and
Yeah.
those filters independently
Right.
of one another. It's,
Yeah. So that panel focus right here, we can quickly bounce in between and do all that kind of stuff is really nice.
It's a lot faster than I thought it was the first time I played. I was going, what does what? What do we got here?
Right.
And it's easy to figure out when something's going wrong like that. it's still holding, you know. It's got to be another instrument. And then you have snapshots that you can get into, take quick snapshot, something, keep editing, go back to the snapshot.
Yeah, that's really great. You don't have to do this like weird save as thing. I can just be working on a sound, hit snapshot, tweak, hit snapshot, and then if it gets crazy, I can fold back. Or if I'm scoring for film, I might have I could use them as cue points. There's lots of ways you could creatively use snapshots.
You know, I like working where everything is in a state of edit, but I've also got into where I have an instrument like this. I go back to old school. I said, let's record it, and we have it, and record it, and it stops things from getting too out of hand. It draws like a line for this part. The one danger, having something this comprehensive and this deep, is you keep tweaking and you keep adding too much to it, and
you
lost
don't know when to stop, right?
And it's so fun that you don't want to stop. It's not that you can't. It's just you don't want to. You think, oh, you know.
That's really can be what it's all about too. We all want to get to that point, but sometimes the magic is just in getting lost in the instrument.
I mean, that's why I went into this as a profession. So many, when they had steam-powered synths, is because it was fun. And to sit down and play this, it's fun. Some instruments are like really tedious and hard to get anything out of that feels like music. And this thing, even the pots, they feel so smooth, and you want to touch it, you want to turn things.
And that's really interesting because you talk about you've been doing this since there was steam-powered synth, since they were truly all analog.
We had coal power for a while.
Really. And but so you have a really good grasp on like the kind of the history of synthesis, and kind of where do you draw the line? Like how do you see things have gone? Like you were talking to me about that a little bit before we even started. I'd like you to share some of that.
Everyone thinks Bob invented the synthesizer. Bob did not invent the synthesizer. He invented this embodiment of the synthesizer with control voltages and filters and switchable waveforms and things that we consider normal. Back in the day, it was like you had two waveforms, sine and pulse, and those can be pretty boring pretty quick. And the different players in the game are like Dave with MIDI, Tom with polyphonic keyboards and digital sequencing, and Dave, Tom was maestro, pedals. Those great phase pedals, that was Tom. And then it switched away and went digital, and now it's all coming back to analog, but not exclusively digital or analog. They're now finding a way for them to happily coexist. And that's where we're at today. And this, the OB6, the Prophet 6, as dedicated analog synths, this is right up there with them. I mean, nobody is apologizing for this. This gets a sound that the other two don't. And it's funny, because I look back, 40 years ago, I was using like Oberheim, Moog, sequential. You know what I'm using today?
What?
Oberheim, Moog, sequential. They all went away, but they're all back. And they're all happily coexisting, and I love it. I want to sit down and work with an instrument, not just a sound design box.
Right.
I just work in a laptop if that was the case. But this is kind of the culmination of everybody's collective work in this. And I love it. I think it's great. I haven't found, to be honest, a reason to use 3 layers. I just haven't, because everything is so full that there is, it's like there's a nice way to kill something is put too much on it. It's like...
Oh yeah, you got vibrato on aftertouch?
And that is a state variable sound. Believe it or not, it says it isn't.
Just a little bit to
high
it.
High pass and crank up. It's the way to get overkill bass. Run this, you run it in high pass, and then you twist up the resonance so it peaks. Like if you put it here at like between 20 and 80 and wind up the resonance on the high pass filter, you can see a peak here. Now that will push the bottom end of the ladder filter, which already has plenty of low end, but if you want something that just rumbles, you do it that way in a bass sound. That should not have low end response, this sound. But if you get into a like a bass, and then you put this one on high pass, hear how it goes away?
Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna blow the speakers, dude.
I've done that. Let's see if we can blow a speaker.
Just clip it a little bit here.
Sissy.
Oh yeah.
That literally will shake a floor. We haven't got a sub here.
Yeah.
You feel it here.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So I hear him, you know. Is that better? I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah, just leave then. Can't handle the bass, get out of here.
But that was actually running everything into the state variable and then into the ladder filter. And you run it as a high pass and knock up that bass. Seriously, it will rumble.
Yeah, that's cool, that's great.
So, you know, we'll just stay here all day and play because this thing is so
I'm
fun.
looking forward to it. I hope they turn the cameras off so we can really, you know, work on that duo thing that we're going to start.
It's get our DJ set together.
Kevin, we really appreciate it, man. I think we're going to wrap up. We looked at the filters extensively. We looked at the ARP and sequencer. There's still a whole lot to dive into this. We're really looking forward to showing you all more. If you have questions for us at Moog, a great way to talk with us is to go to moogmusic.com and you can chat with us. And if there's any questions you had that you didn't get answered, we have people ready to help you out, and looking forward to doing more. Kevin, thanks so much for stopping by.
Pleasure. Thank you.